We are recording.
Hello, recording in progress. There's a penguin on top of the television set.
How much wine have you had?
No.
Yeah,
It doesn't require any wine for me to do Monty Python. But what I was going to say, so we've got Suzanne, we've got her cats. Thank you, Suzanne. I actually managed to have a number of discussions with Umberto Eco, the writer. And he made the observation, I would love to take credit for it, but it's his idea. Do you know that if you cross a human being with any other animal, it deteriorates the human being, except for the cat. You can cross a human being with a dog, a horse, a pig. You can choose to eat. The wolf is okay. Wolf horse.
Hey, wait! This is a cooking show. Where are we going?
But anyway, the point is you cross a human being with a cat, it improves the human. That is something that's worth thinking about. All right.
Okay.
So
out of that crazy brain has come this recipe.
Yeah.
Out of that creative, wild brain of yours, we've brought you back multiple times because you keep having these outrageous, weird recipes.
Crazy. So I will give you, so actually, let's start cooking. Because this is going to take a little while. What we have here.
So this right here is just what do you call it? A fruit pasta salad with berry.
It's not a salad bar. This is an entree. Let me get some of the water out of this. I'm putting this in the sink right at the moment. Because we're going to have to cook it down. So what this is this is a big bowl of blueberries and blackberries. All right.
All right.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask.
Is it actually blueberry-blackberry season where you're at? You're in Poland.
Oh, yeah, you can get them here. I mean, they're selling them on the streets, so I'm assuming so. And actually, that's where these came from. These came from a street vendor. So I'm going to ask Vern to take a pastry blender.
I got one. Found one.
And to right here, grind these things into not exactly pulp, but so
you're just rough chopping them.
It's 3-1. Well, or you can do it 2-1, but I think it's better 3-1, and that's what this is.
So mostly blueberries.
It's mostly blueberries, right? And so this is 3-1, and so I'm going to ask Vern to start that now. He's going to crush these blueberries, but you want go ahead.
Glad I didn't wear a white shirt.
And we want some substance left in this bowl when we're done. We're going to cook this for most of the show. Is this a show? Is that what we're doing? So we're going to cook this for.
Well, I have 3 choices of crushers. What do you think?
So you can use a masher. I see that you got a potato masher. I would choose the one that's made of steel. That one. I would choose that. We don't want all of the blueberryness, blackberryness to go away. There needs to be.
This one made of steel.
That's not
too small.
It's not going to work. You need to have some space. It would be better if you used a stiff pastry blender because you need some cutting power for this. But you can use that thing you've got, that potato masher you've got that's steel. That'll work. It won't work as well as what Vern is using, which is.
Am I halfway there?
No, you're not even a quarter. You're not even a quarter of the way there.
Okay.
No, you won't be able to see any full black blueberries.
Okay. So
when you are done. Anyway, well, we're going to do some other things while he's doing that.
Now, do you only do fresh ones? Have you ever done this with?
I have never done it any other way. So I'm now going to tell you the story of this sauce. Are you ready for the story of this sauce? We were It is. We were at Kerrville. And
Buffet festival.
here's what happened. I
What's
bought
Kerrville?
2 pints of blueberries and a pint of blackberries. And my wife went to the HEB in Kerrville and bought the same thing. And now at Kerrville, you can use just so much of anything at any given time. And we looked at our duplication of effort, and I realized I was going to have to come up with something that would enable me to use up these blueberries before they went bad. And there were blackberries.
So you're camping out, right? That's
We're
what
camping
you're doing?
out. Yeah, we're camping. We're camping. And so anyway, every year David Gay would make for me, you remember this, he would make for me a rather elaborate cooking platform. He would nail together 2x4s and pieces of plywood and make a big cooking surface for me. And he had done that for generations before for my cousin Charlie Peak. You knew Charlie Peak?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I didn't know it at first.
Yeah.
You told me a few years
Well,
ago.
we only discovered it at Kerrville, but that's a different story. But anyway, so he would make this big cooking surface for me at Kerrville. And here we
Now,
were.
can I start cooking this while I'm smashing
No,
it?
no, you're not there. You're not there. You gotta crush it more.
Yeah, I got mine crushed
Oh,
better.
it
So
crushes easier while it's cooking.
Show him where you are.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if it's cooked
got a
a little
long
bit,
way
it
to
crushes
go.
easier.
You got a long ways to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've made sauce. I've made sauce where I cooked it and then crushed it.
No, well, you can do that, but it's easier to crush it before you cook it.
You don't burn your fingers.
You don't burn your fingers as much. Yeah. And
That makes
so,
sense.
no, you have a lot of work to do there, Art. I mean, Vern has really, but he has the right tool. You know, there's nothing like the right tool for the job. You really do. I mean, that looks great.
So it did the blackberries really well, but it's not doing the blueberries very well.
But you got to keep crushing it until it does. It's got to look like this. Vern has done a marvelous job. You don't have the right tool.
Is yours a flat?
That's not gonna. It's not gonna do it. You've got to work.
Mashers.
Yeah. He's got a potato masher.
Yeah.
It'll. You've got to work.
I hadn't been looking to see what he was doing because I've been doing this.
But look at your results.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks great.
How about putting it in the blender?
Made a machine.
All right, actually, Vern, you're done.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
Good.
so ours is ready to go into cook, and it's gonna cook for almost the rest of the time we're here.
All right.
Because we gotta cook it down. We really gotta cook it down.
I'm glad I wasn't wearing.
You don't add anything to it to cook it down? You don't add
No,
sugar
we're
or
gonna
anything?
add a number of things to it as we cook it down. Yeah, you'll see. You'll see. I mean, patience
This looks like something I want to make when, every make a whole bunch of this when the berries are in season and then freeze it.
Yeah, sure. Well, the process that we're engaged in is very much like making jam. It's very much like that. But you're done with that. We're gonna do it a little differently. Vern is licking his fingers, and that's not a bad thing to do. So what we're gonna
Then
do,
I'm gonna go wash my hands.
he's gonna wash his hands. That's what they do in Texas.
Yeah, we
I
wash
am
them.
putting this in my saucepan now.
So how did two Texans end up in?
All of the magic is gonna happen here. In the
Hey,
sauce.
Randy, how did two Texans end up in Poland?
That is such a long story. It's like,
Okay.
I don't think you really.
All right, back to Kerrville then, and how you started this recipe.
All right, yeah. So let me turn this on. So I'm putting this on medium heat, but only to get it going. It's going to go to high heat relatively quickly. I'm working on an induction stove, and
Me too. I love induction. Oh my God, I love it.
it works pretty well. But anyway, so in Kerrville, you make do. And so we had way too many blueberries and way too many blackberries. And I know how to make jam. But I thought, I could make a sauce out of this. And then I looked at what I had in terms of spices. And I had a bunch of sage and I had some cayenne pepper. And I had some other savory spices. I had salt, I had pepper.
So are you just basically saying your recipe came
I
to be
didn't have
because
any,
it's
I
what
didn't
you had?
have anything else. I didn't have anything else. I've been making chili, right? And so,
Yeah.
so anyway, I thought, what the hell? And I started dumping the sage and dumping the not dumping the cayenne pepper. You gotta be careful.
So
with
look at
that.
this. This is like instant
That's
jam.
good,
I
that's
could eat
good.
this right now
That's
without
good.
cooking
That's
it.
good. No. You don't want to
Don't
eat
eat
it.
it.
You
I
don't
could
want
eat this right now. Why do I have to cook it?
It is super sour right now. I assure you, it's not going to taste good. No, that is really sour. We're going to have to do some work on it. And by the way, so we have it on about 7 on our stove right at the moment, and we're heating it up. We're going to go higher.
Set it on 7.
We're gonna go higher than that, but we need to sort of warm it up because there's gonna have to be a sort of more or less constant stirring.
That's Polish 7.
It's Polish 7.
Polish 7.
I don't know. It's a German stove.
Oh, well, German stuff.
It's a German.
It's just 1 through 10, right?
Echo stove, right? It's a German stove. But anyway, so what I did I got these propane stoves at Kerrville. Is I started making this stove.
Coleman stoves.
Coleman propane stoves. I started making this stuff up.
It's a
And
camping stove.
I started using the various ingredients that I had. And the result was sublime. I remember Rebecca Lovey came by and she took a finger and she said, I can eat
video.
Yeah.
Rebecca,
Okay, I believe I've got it.
side of the river, about 2 miles down the river
from you guys.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, we can.
well,
we can
that's
toot
because
to it.
that's because the Guadalupe has a call to it.
It
right?
does. It does.
Anyway, so what I added to it is the stuff that's in the recipe. So right at the moment, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys a trick that my friend Helen of Warsaw showed me. Helen of Warsaw, well, she's from Boston, but she lives in Warsaw. If you want to mince garlic, what you do is you crush it just a little bit first. Do you see how easily that peel came off? Look at that. So you remember from our previous shows, we call it the Hellenizer because our friend Helen of Warsaw taught us about it. This, I don't know what you call it. You pull it like a.
So I did get regular garlic to properly mince it, but I wanted to show in the US we have these little teeny jars of.
Oh yeah, I know about those.
I call it jarlic. Jarlic is garlic that's pre-minced.
You know what? That stuff is okay, but it does not.
If you're making something.
It does not.
If you're making something that
carry
doesn't require fresh garlic.
It does
This
not.
is really good. This one's in olive oil.
It does not carry the punch that what I'm doing does.
Right.
It's okay, and I use it myself, and so there's no way that this is a
Yeah, but
criticism.
it doesn't make your fingers have that.
Yeah, your fingers are all stuck together, and
Yeah.
mine certainly are right at the moment. But if
So this recipe,
you crush,
let me just go over the ingredients real quick. Sorry, Randy.
yeah.
We've got 4 pints of blueberries, 1.5 pints of blackberries,
That's right.
3 tablespoons minced garlic, 2 tablespoons dried sage,
That's
teaspoon
right.
cayenne pepper, a teaspoon garlic salt, and then a third a cup of maple syrup, approximate, because it's dependent on
Yeah,
sour
yeah, we're
everything
gonna
is.
add that as it goes. We're gonna add that as it goes because what you're trying to do is you don't make this sweet. You take the cut off the sour. That's what the maple syrup does. It does not, in no way is this supposed to be sweet, not even a little bit, because the fruit that we add at the end, once this is all cooking, we're
Do I
gonna.
get to do one of those? Oh, two of them. I get to do two of them.
Yeah, yeah. So what we do is once this is all cooking, the rest of it is all the preparation of the fruit. I'm gonna wash my hands now because they're all sticky from
I'm gonna
garlic.
have to wash my hands again too.
Yeah, sure. So my sink is actually in front of what you guys are looking at, so. Anyway,
Randy makes this look so easy to slide this off. It's
not that hard.
Well, it really helps if you crush it.
Yeah, you crush it and then the skin just comes right off.
Yeah, that's how you missed one.
Oh,
You missed two.
Now, I have done it, Randy. If you have a whole bunch of it, toss it in a quart or a pint jar and shake it up real vigorously.
what are you talking about there, Art?
If
Done
you get
what?
this garlic and put it in a jar, put a lid on it and shake it up, it'll also take it off.
Okay, well, so what I'm doing is I'm putting it in my, what we call the Hellenizer, because Helen of Warsaw taught us this. And I'm about to mince it. You can mince garlic in a lot of different ways. Oh, that explains it.
Why do my hands smell so bad?
Well, I don't know.
It's not bad.
What have you been doing with your
So,
hands?
Randy, based on your recommendation, I got one of these for the first time. This is my first time trying it.
Well, so mine is a very small one. The one that I recommended to you
Mine's a little bigger, yeah.
is bigger than this. I've got a, there we are. Okay.
This one came with extra blades.
This thing really does the job. I mean, you want minced garlic. I'm gonna have minced garlic in just a second here. And it's gonna be so minced that you won't believe it. And this thing is so easy to clean up. It's not like those other kitchen gadgets where you spend more time cleaning it. See that?
Wow.
It's freaking perfect. Is that not minced garlic or
That
what?
is minced garlic.
Just like, okay,
So-
my berries are starting to boil already. Do I turn it down?
Yeah. Well, you need to keep stirring them because they will stick to the bottom of your pot if you're not careful.
Unless you're on 7 on a German induction.
Actually,
stove.
no, we're cutting it back to 6 because they are beginning. It's going a little too fast.
Yeah, induction is amazing. It does it so quick.
There's a great efficiency here. Anyway, I'm putting all the garlic in here. And that's fine because this is a savory dish. It is not a sweet dish. It's not a salad. This is an entree.
I keep calling it a salad, I guess, to poke fun at you, I guess.
Not a
It seems
salad.
Just like a
It's an
salad.
entree. It's a weird entree, but it's an entree. Yeah, by the time you have
Right
this,
now, we're just making the dressing
no, we're making
for the
sauce.
entree.
This is the equivalent of like spaghetti sauce. I'm not kidding you. This is the equivalent of spaghetti sauce.
I believe you.
This is gonna be the spaghetti sauce to the spaghetti. And it's gonna be savory, it's not gonna be sweet. However, the fruit chunks that are gonna operate as if they were meat in this dish are they are sweet, but they're not very sweet. The papaya is the sweetest of the things that we put in here. The mango and the pineapple and well, we're going to put some figs and some nectarines in as well this time. It's not necessary to do that. The figs, the pineapple and the papaya and the mangoes are sufficient. I'm gonna go on and add some figs and some nectarines, but you don't have to, and they're not super sweet. The figs kind of are, but anyway, this eats like I had made spaghetti and meat sauce. That's the way this eats.
All right. I keep turning down the temperature. I'm down to 5 now.
Well, don't let it stick to the bottom. You got to cook it down. You're going to have to cook it down by half. But
You
don't
just want a slow simmer, right?
Yeah, but no, you got to cook it down. No, it's not a slow simmer. This is, you got to get rid of some of the water. You got to cook it down by half.
Right.
And so you're going to have to
Okay.
push the heat, and you're going to have to keep stirring.
Is
I
I take that back. It's boiling vigorously.
If you
At a
were
5 now.
if you were making jam, you would give this hours and hours. But you're not making jam, you're making spaghetti sauce. All right, so Vern,
Yes,
it's time for us to move to the fruit while this cooks down.
okay. And you're trusting at this point, I don't have to sit here and continue to,
Well,
Stir.
we'll do that. Of course you do. But,
Okay.
but
so I cook with the, cut with the left hand, stir with the right hand.
yeah. So
Okay, oh, I'm coordinated.
so anyway,
We'll find out
I made
after.
this sauce at Kerrville. You've had it before.
Mhm.
And we're gonna flavor it here in a minute. The things that I happen to have on hand were sage and salt and pepper and a little bit of cayenne pepper. Now you can't get sage in Europe. They have this thing they call Savory, which is close to sage.
Smells a lot like sage.
But it isn't sage. It's nowhere near as powerful. And so we need to use more of it. But if you have sage, I gave you.
I think you can make it work.
We're now gonna put a lot of this in here. Twice as much as sage. And the reason is it's sour, it's not sage.
And that looked to me like about 2 tablespoons.
Yeah, maybe a little bit
So
more.
that was good sage, a good.
It
This
was
is my first time trying this thing.
Enough, but it isn't good sage. All right, give me that pepper. Now I can't get cayenne pepper here, but I do have this Turkish pepper that is very, very similar to cayenne pepper. No, it's actually about the same.
It'll be enough. And the base.
Randy, I love this machine. That was my first time using it. Oh my God.
Isn't it wonderful?
I gotta go get one too.
So now I'm about to put the cayenne pepper in here, although it's Turkish. Oh, okay, that's it.
I'm gonna interpret that to be about a.
That's
eighth of a teaspoon.
yeah, about just less than a teaspoon for sure,
Yeah.
maybe a half teaspoon. But it needs to be in there, and part of the reason is you won't taste this as spicy.
Yeah,
What you will taste it is as balanced. So anyway.
With just a very little bit of cayenne pepper.
Of what?
very little bit of cayenne.
Original-
Well,
Original
whatever the
recipe said 1
measurement,
teaspoon.
whatever the measurement was that I told you in the, so we're putting this in here. Oh, we
You
need-
actually measured it at some point?
I did.
Because I've never seen you do anything except open. And it always turns out perfect,
That's true.
but I have no idea how much you used. I just have to guess.
I do.
Yeah.
I used enough.
What can I do to help?
Well, we're about to move to the fruit here, and,
Okay.
and the fruit's important.
Yeah, we got
So those are figs. So those figs need to be,
nectarines,
those figs need to be eighth.
8. I'll start 8ing on it right now.
Oh,
yeah.
No,
8,
eighth.
8, not 8. Okay, I was in
You
8.
can, you can use that.
I was gonna 8.
Okay, so they divide those into eighths, cut the little stem off first. There you go. There you go.
Okay, I was
And
gonna
then-
try
and
to
then-
slice
and then
right now.
Right.
then ate it.
So what's gonna happen in the final dish, which by the way, Vern doesn't even know what we're cooking.
Yeah,
What's gonna happen in the final dish
You
is.
said you've ate it, so start guessing.
well, this would have been 20 years ago around
Oh,
the
no, he's-
campfire.
So Vern, is this mine or is this yours?
That's mine.
Okay. Actually, I guess the first time I made it, it wouldn't be 20 years ago, but it's 15, 17.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and everybody came by my camp in Kerrville and tried it. And it was an improvisation on the basis of there you go. That's perfect. That's perfect, Larry. It's perfect. It was an improvisation on the basis of the ingredients that I had in camp. And so, I mean, this is what I had, and so this is what I made. And I actually think that probably a lot of good cooking happens that way, that people, they look at what they have. I'm gonna stir now. We're good, we're cooking down here, but we're very far from our goal. All right. So as I said in the recipe, you can put nectarines and other things. Vern does not know how to do a mango. So I'm going to do this for him because it'll be faster if I do. So with a mango.
Yeah, show me also.
You've got a mango.
I was able to buy some pre-cut up, but
a mango has a big vertical pit. And what you do is you cut the four sides away from the pit, and then you cut within the mango, because once you get inside the mango, it's very slippery and it's really not, it's not pleasant to deal with. And so what I'm doing is I'm starting as close to the pit as I can on the top, and I'm cutting straight down. You see that? And I'm going to do that 4 times.
that looks like a green mango.
Yeah, that green is better.
Oh, okay.
The greener the mango, the better, because it's easier to handle when you get to the second part of this task.
I just dropped one on the
All
floor.
right. I feel like I need to turn this down again because it's starting to spit out.
Well, you gotta, so I have messed up the
Uh-oh.
fourth side of my mango. I was too close to the pit. And I didn't do a good job, but 3 sides are good. Anyway, it's a very green mango, but that's what I actually like, because the green mango is easier to deal with. I'm now moving to the second mango, cutting it away from its pit. Oh, that
So I purposely tried to get a ripe one, but you said it should have been green.
Yeah, green is easier to handle for this particular. The reason is that well, I'm going to move to the second stage now. The reason it's better to have a green mango is because when you get to this stage, it becomes difficult to deal with. So what you do is you cut lines within the mango, but you don't want to cut the husk. And then you take the mango in your hands and you cut up under it to get the mango pieces.
Now I learned that you cut the lines and then you just get a spoon and you scoop it.
You can do it that way. It won't make much
But
difference.
it matters how. That's for a ripe one. A ripe one. A green one. You
Yeah,
can't do
this
that
one,
as well.
this one is green, and green is what I prefer. Because
so what I learned, Randy, for a green one is get a veggie peeler and just peel the whole thing and then cut it.
you can do it that way.
You can also just
that's
kind of
for a green
invert,
one.
you can also kind of invert the slice. And
Yeah,
then
but I am aware
shave
of
it
that
off.
technique, and I do not disagree. But
You
I
have a ripe one, like this one's ripe. You make
Oh,
lines
you
in
better-
both
you better
directions.
Do it
is
the
what
way
Fred's
that you know
talking
how
about.
to do it.
And then you go like this, look.
But you see what I'm doing, and it's gonna work just fine.
But we're not, for this recipe, you want a green one.
It's just easier, I think, to get your mango pieces if you do it this way. And sweetness is not an issue here. We're not shooting for sweet mango. It's more of a texture.
And I spent so much extra time because there was only, all of them were green. At the store. I like
Greens
dug through the bin.
are just fine for this recipe. You see what I'm doing? These are
So
gonna
here's
work.
what I do for a green one. Just peel it with the veggie peeler,
Mhm. Yeah, you can do it
and
that
then
way.
you can.
But you see
Now,
that
here's the thing: is for this recipe, I mean, you know, you can eat the peel of a mango. You could probably just put this
you can, yeah.
skin in.
But you see what I'm doing, and this is perfectly fine for this recipe to just pull it out of the hull like this. It doesn't need to be that yellowish. It's perfectly fine for this recipe for it not to be like that.
Are
It
you
doesn't-
just cutting them into cubes then?
You wanna
That's-
move
that's
that-
what
that
I'm doing.
Whole thing over here. You wanna move that whole
So
thing?
like
over?
this piece.
I could if they could see it better.
I think they might be able to.
I'll move it over here. So
I
that you
can't
can
So like
see
this
it.
piece was a sliver off the side, and it still has the skin on it. And I'll just eat
So
it.
what I'm doing is just.
Mhm. I'm just cutting.
So this is gonna end up in a pasta
Aha. that's what I was
as
guessing.
pieces. And so
Uh-oh, Vern figured out what it is.
Yeah.
No.
I saw the ingredients over here and there's a bag that looks sort of like, looks like it says pasta. 500 grams.
Stir your berries, or stir your berries.
more important.
Oh,
That's the extra pasta that you.
and 500 grams of multicolored. Multicolored pasta.
And no, Fred, I'm using the rubber one. Makes it so
Good.
much easier. Don't have to worry about
Rubber pasta.
burning.
So I'm beginning to figure out this is a pasta sauce. And I do.
It is a pasta.
I do remember several pasta sauces, but I didn't know that any of them were made out of all of these fruits.
I don't think you ever had this whole thing.
I might not have.
Vern and I have eaten together any number of times, but I don't think you ever had this whole thing. Oh, we've got a little piece of. All right, that's enough mango.
Mine is boiled down by about half already, but it's still pretty thin.
Mine is not. I would say we're maybe a fourth down.
So I think the secret, Randy, is my pot is thicker than your pot for induction.
Well, that could be. That could be.
'Cause the thicker the metal, the quicker induction works.
I didn't know that. I think that's a great cooking tip. All right, papaya.
Papaya.
So yeah, let's put all these in a bowl. I bet you a bowl.
All right.
While Randy's gone, I'll wave at everybody. Hi there. I like to look at the
I'm gonna
camera.
eat one of these green ones. Oh no, they taste horrible.
Oh, I better stir. I hear it start to bubble. When it bubbles, stir. I learned Julia Childs. If you're cooking, you need to have a glass of wine by.
Well, of course you do.
But
Alright.
Julia Childs.
I
never-
lucked out one. I guess
So-
I lucked out one of my mangoes was ripe and one wasn't, so I'll get
Well,
to have the ripe one for
there you go.
later, and then this one for this,
Do you have your pineapple?
even though they both
Ready for
look.
that? You ready for your pineapple?
You want me to do that pineapple?
I don't know.
Ah.
Do you want to do the pineapple?
I'll try it. After you chop off its head.
All right, you
chop off
go
its-
for
Its
it.
hairs. Okay, I'm gonna
Here,
try.
take a drink first.
Oh, that's yours. Mine's over.
At trivia, it said, we
We
had a
got-
question, is pineapple grown on trees?
I left mine over there.
No, it is.
That's yours over there.
It's in a field that you don't want anything to do with.
Okay. Where's this? I'm gonna try doing it. this
Yep,
way.
there you go. Vern is coring the pineapple.
And Vern is trying to core.
It requires some strength.
Is
Starting
that
it.
a special tool?
Yeah,
It's a pineapple core.
It's a pineapple core. I've never used one of these. But
I
All right,
have.
I'm gonna do it the old style.
you think I should?
How are
I
you
don't
doing?
have one of those.
I'm gonna cut
Well, I
more.
skinned the whole thing and then I cut around the core, basically.
What are you doing, R?
So you cut the head off and then I set it down and I cut the skin off.
Well, yeah,
Cut
yeah.
it in half.
Well, you could do it that way.
That makes sense, right?
Well, if I don't have a core, of course.
Well, we do have a core, but you could use, oh, yeah, there you go.
That makes sense.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, now, all right. We are making some progress now. The pineapple core I use at home is one piece. And you just put it through the whole thing. But
This
it
is
does,
a Polish.
yeah,
pineapple.
it's a Polish pineapple core. So you say
I
this
think
is.
that's a core for, it's a
So-
universal core. You
Sure.
can use that for apples
Mhm.
also.
Yes,
Actually, it's probably predominantly an apple core that you
yeah.
reuse for pineapples.
I'm
Pop it
stirring.
out. Okay,
possibly.
Stirring while Vern does this.
All right.
that one's out.
We're still only down by about a quarter here. We
What do
need
we
to
have
be
to do
down
if we
by
go into
more than
overtime?
half in order to get this thing going.
What do we do if we had to going into overtime? Andy?
Well, we've gone into overtime before.
So
That's not a.
With Randy, we always go into overtime.
Well, but it's not
He
because
never,
we
he never
plan.
picks a simple recipe.
You are
I'll show you how to
You
scramble
are
the
doing an
egg.
incredible job there. Now just cut the rind off of it and we are so totally there. By the way, I'm gonna have to get by you to get a frying pan.
Okay,
We're-
I'll
we're
step
actually
out of the
gonna-
way. Hello there, fans.
Going to fry these.
It's like,
You don't have to fry it much, but you definitely have to fry it a little. Be sure to keep stirring your blueberry-blackberry sauce.
I gotta learn how to.
No,
cut with
I
one
got it.
hand.
I got it. This is a two-man
Oh.
job.
How'd you do it
Person
for
job.
that?
I mean, it doesn't have to be men, could be anybody. I'm about to salt that thing.
all right,
Salt
so we're
pretty
keeping,
important to it. And something else very important is about to happen. I'm about to taste it to see how much maple syrup it needs. Because these things, so you don't want to, this is important. You don't want to taste it for sweetening until you've salted it. Because you don't really know what it tastes like until the salt is in it. Salt has a strange power of lessening the bite of sourness. Salt has this power of making you not experience how sour something sour is. This thing that I am looking at right now is quite sour. But when I stir the salt into it, it will be less sour than it was. Now, don't ask me why, I didn't know it. But what's going to happen after that is we're going to move to maple syrup. And maple syrup is not designed to make this sweet, it's designed to cut the sour. because this is going to be very, very sour.
Are you making all this
Now,
up?
is maple syrup
No.
a common thing in Poland?
What now? Oh,
Is
no.
maple syrup a common
It
thing?
was incredibly difficult to find it. No, they don't have maple syrup in Poland, but we did manage to find it. I actually have an entire bottle of date syrup because we were afraid we wouldn't ever find any maple syrup, but we kept looking and we found some. So we do have it. We have the real thing. It's Canadian maple syrup. Uncle Maple Joe, it's called. And you know, probably the date syrup, by the way, Vern, that looks fantastic.
Is that-
That's
good enough?
exactly what we want. We're about to, so that tablespoon of olive oil in the
So wait a second, you were camping out and you had plenty of maple syrup as extra ingredients?
I did. Maple syrup is common.
Pancakes.
It's common because people make pancakes at Kerrville. It's really, I had plenty of maple syrup. It's not a lot. Where's, oh, there it is. So the tablespoon of olive oil that is required in the published recipe is for the purposes, and I'm doing it right now. It's
You've
for,
actually published this?
well, I mean, it's on Facebook.
You're an author, I know.
Well, no. So when I say published, I mean this in a very limited sort of fashion, but
Oh, you started a fry pan of oil? What, I need to do
I
that?
did, that's for the fruit. Remember? So you read the instructions. We're gonna fry this fruit. And there's a reason. I guess maybe we leave the nectarines out, Bert. We just eat the nectarines.
Okay.
We don't need those. Yeah, and so.
Why do we fry the fruit?
Oh, it's important. It's really important because if you don't fry the fruit, it's not, it doesn't have the right texture. And it isn't the right, it doesn't marry with the flavors of the rest of what we're doing. If we don't fry the fruit. But we're not frying it on a high temperature. We're just softening it and opening it up so that it can receive the flavors of the other things that we are working with. And so the mango, by the way, I haven't got the papaya out yet, but the papaya is so easy to work with that that's almost not necessary. I mean, so here's Vern just working away on this pineapple. So Vern, if you would just turn the pineapple into little cubes that I can fry.
Okay.
Yeah. Since this pineapple is not especially ripe, we're going to cook it a little more than we would have. Here, I'm bringing this around. We're going to cook it a little more than we would have. Well, that was close.
I think I got at least 25.
Oh, I think you did. Yeah, I think you did a great job. I mean,
Okay.
that was awesome. So this pineapple is still a little bit less than
Hang on.
what you call field ripened.
Yeah, this is, I want to just.
It's
Yeah, well, chomp down on it.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen it up so that it can receive flavors. I do not recommend canned pineapple for this. I think that it degrades the dish if you do that. I think you need, yeah, that's perfect. What you're doing is exactly perfect.
Something like that?
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, and we could
Stay
do
on
this.
there, glasses.
We could do this with nectarines as well. Nectarines are really, peaches, no good. Nectarines, yes. The reason is that in this final dish that we're creating, every piece of fruit has to have a little bit of resistance. I'm about to pull out the papaya.
I think you just said I'm doing it perfect. I don't know that I'm doing it.
You are. It's perfect.
I think
So-
it's flattering me.
I am not. I wouldn't do that. If
I know breads. I don't know.
I am not put
I don't
He's
together.
obviously not a professional cook. He's being nice.
I am not nice to anyone. And so, I mean,
See, I found a more efficient way to cut that.
that's great. All right, put it here in the, just put
And
it
that-
right in there. We're just gonna fry it.
Okay. Get in there. That's messing up your production stuff.
All right, so I'm now gonna turn it up. I'm actually gonna turn it up pretty high.
One more, please.
Yeah.
And actually, I should have tasted that to be sure this is good.
So
That was
we're
perfect.
We're gonna kick the ass of this.
What?
You hear us kicking the ass of it? We're gonna put the mango and the figs in there after this thing is.
This is my wine. That's yours.
Okay. If you say
That
so.
was Savory Blueberry-Blackberry.
If you say so. So the
It almost
papaya,
tastes like a salmon.
it does a bit. So. This is all the papaya I could find in Poland this week. But it's good. It's very good papaya.
Well, you're better than me. I completely forgot papaya somehow.
What's that now?
I have to apologize. I completely forgot papaya, period.
Well, it's pretty
Somehow
important.
when I went shopping.
You'll probably still do all right.
Randall, I made a terrible mistake and he splashed some out here. And I hope it was really good.
Now I do have 1,000 pounds of plums that I could put in.
Okay. So we're gonna open this up. We're gonna cut this back a little bit.
So what do you have in the oil?
It's just olive oil. You don't want it to get too hot because olive oil won't tolerate that. I've got a garlic olive oil is what I'm using in the frying pan. So the papaya, you scoop the seeds out. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Scoop the seeds out.
And you're just frying the pineapple, right?
I'm frying the pineapple. That's what I'm doing. And the reason I'm doing that is because that pineapple is not terribly ripe. I'm gonna put other things in that frying pan later. Right now, what I'm doing is preparing the papaya. So this papaya is not overripe. I'm taking the seeds out of it, which is what you do.
Now if your mango was totally green, you'd fry that too? Probably.
Yes, and actually, I'm gonna put it in a minute, for that very reason, because it is green. Get the seeds out of the papaya. Actually, we can
I'm
do
gonna
this.
keep forgetting to stir the berries.
Yeah, you gotta keep stirring the berries. Gotta cook them down. So I'm putting figs and mango in with the pineapple now. And neither one of them is overripe. And actually, that's the way I prefer it for this particular dish. Nothing should be overripe. All right. Where's the other?
There it is. Still looks like a salmon.
Now, with the exception of what is it? Is it green mango salad?
What's that now?
The Thai green mango salad?
Well, I don't think I know that particular dish.
Is it mango or papaya? Oh, it's mango.
Well, they're very, very different fruits.
Yeah.
Papaya is so much sweeter and softer than mango. And it doesn't keep for nearly as long either. So what I'm doing, and we really don't, for purposes of our dish, we really don't have to do very much with the papaya at all. I am doing the same thing I did with the mango. Cutting across. And the difference is that because this papaya is a little more ripe, I am gonna use the spoon method that you talked about. I'm cutting it both ways. I don't know whether you can see it, I hope you can. And then I'm gonna take a spoon and get it out of there. It's easy.
I'm no longer getting a toasted coating on the bottom of these.
Oh, well, add a little more of that olive oil.
Around the edge.
Oh, well, it won't matter as long as the middle is the most important part.
Okay.
So I am just spooning this papaya out of the middle of the papaya. And this stuff, for the purposes of our finished dish, doesn't have to be very done. I mean, it hardly has to be cooked at all. Unlike the other fruits, papaya is just, I mean, that's why you get it in fruit cocktail, right?
I think this is gonna be a dessert pasta.
It's not.
Ah,
You wait. See,
Okay.
that's what
Vern,
that's
that's what I keep saying. I keep saying this is a pasta salad.
it's not.
no, a
You
pasta
will
dessert.
You
I
will
think.
see. You will see.
My
It is
my
not.
berries are starting to spit way
This
too
is
much.
an
all
entree,
over the place.
folks.
Lowest setting here.
You will see. You didn't believe me about the applesauce either.
That's true. I've got mine down to a 1. My berries. They're starting
To a
spit
what?
all over the place.
Well, I assume what we're looking at here, Randy, it says 64 and 67. I assume that's centigrade.
No, it's just between 6 and 9. I mean, it's more like Jimi Hendrix.
Ah, so this has nothing to do with temperature. It's
No, it's just
just
relative
numbers.
That's all.
Okay,
It is.
so get yourself a German.
It is a German
induction
stove.
stove.
It is a German stove.
This one is on 64. This was on 67. 67.
No,
volts
those are
down.
four. Those are 4 different.
Oh, those are 4
burners.
different burners.
Yeah.
Oh, you
it's
got
what's-
something cooking in this and you're heating the water over there.
I am.
Ah, okay, now I
I
see.
am. It's almost. It's
That's
like
a 6. This is a 4. This
That's
is a 6.
right.
This is a 7.
you've now done your division. All right.
I must be a Polak.
Well, that is the German word for Polish people.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. It wasn't intended as a stove, just an
It's just
adjective.
an adjective.
Just an adjective.
Uh,
All right, so you see my papaya here.
Yes.
Hardly
it looks
needs to
like-
be, so stir that.
It looks like cut up pieces of salmon.
It does, but it's a papaya.
I believe you. I believe.
I
Okay.
saved the papaya skins and cut it up and made a salad. I just
Yeah, you can do that. Papaya skins are not bad at all.
I think we're gonna all have enough here to feed an army.
Yeah, we don't have an army, but we'll, this, by the way, this dish is best when it is fresh. All right, so,
A little more.
okay, yeah, you know what to do.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, don't put
That's-
too much,
yeah.
but
that's what's causing.
yeah, you got it,
I'm
you
just trying
can't
to cook.
you can't let it burn, is
Right.
the point. All right, so, enough oil to prevent that.
3 minutes before I stir it.
Yeah, and so here comes the papaya.
I'm not finished yet, huh? Okay.
Well, this is, we're almost done, by the way. It's time to put the pasta in. So I would say now you cut the heat back. Cut
I
the
need to
heat.
cook my pasta.
Oh, you don't know how.
No, I'll let you.
Yeah, so Whoop.
Nah, you just changed everything.
Well, I turned it off. Okay. That was not a good move on my part. All right. That thing is down by a little less than half. All right.
Yeah, if you look at mine's definitely down. I had to shut it off because it was getting so thick. I don't know if you can see the splatter. It starts spitting. See, there's a little spit on my garlic there. That's so thick here.
All right. We are really moving into the final phases here. So I am turning up pasta water, put just a little olive oil, pasta water, a little salt.
See a little mess up here.
Yeah, that's all right.
Is it-
Not gonna hurt anything.
Okay,
Not gonna hurt anything.
it's not cooking it.
I wish that this was cooking down faster than it is, but we'll be all right. All right, that's good. So we're making asparagus to go with this, and it'll be, we'll put it in lemon and butter. Yeah, you can just sort of turn that around. The papaya, all that's important with it is that it's warm. The rest of it doesn't matter.
Berry
So now, what I am gonna do is I am going to taste this blueberry sauce and figure out how much maple syrup to put into it. Because that's what you have to do. You never know how sour or sweet it's gonna be. It depends on the blueberries and the blackberries themselves. And so I'm letting it cool and I'm about to taste it. And then I'm gonna decide how much maple syrup to put in. Wow. You know what? Almost none. Vern, taste this. Oh my God. Let it cool a little bit and taste it. You have tasted this before, by the way. That per-
Tastes mighty delicious to me.
It doesn't need any maple syrup. So we're not gonna, ours, because of the composition of our blueberries and our blackberries, we don't have to put any maple syrup in it. That would be.
And you went through all that work trying to track them down too.
It would be normal to have to do that just to balance it out. And so anybody cooking along, add the maple syrup until the thing tastes savory. And
I think
yum.
in the US we pick the berries when they're still kind of green.
This
get local
one is
berries
not gonna
that taste
require
right.
any maple syrup. It's ready. It's perfect. And so I'm putting this back up. Because it doesn't need anything.
Now this is.
It would
beginning-
mess it up. Huh?
The pot that I'm working
Uh-huh.
is beginning to be juicy at the bottom.
That's okay.
Okay,
That's okay.
so it's not adding
No.
any,
No.
that would be good to add any more.
All right, so I'm about to, we're moving into pasta territory here, folks. I don't know where you are. Where are you? I'm about to put the pasta
I
on.
started the hot. Yep, I started my hot water.
Mhm.
Now the fruit, we're only trying to cook it enough that it's edible, right? I mean, like you can chew it.
Yeah, basically.
Because if you have green, green papaya. I mean, not green papaya, green mango and pineapple. It just needs to be cooked enough to be able to eat.
It's not gonna hurt. To have it sort of greenish.
I only have a couple of burners, so I have to like shuffle things around a little bit.
Yeah, I'm using all four of mine, but part of it is that I got asparagus going for my crowd because we're actually going to eat dinner here shortly, in fact. Oh, man. This is so good.
I wasn't paying that much attention to the
All right,
berries,
so
and they
I'm about to put the pasta on, which means we're not that far from eating. All right, how far are you?
right now I'm cleaning the berry splatter from everywhere.
Did you spill some berries? I spilled some berries. I got over enthusiastic and stirring. And berry juice jumped onto the surface of this incredible stove that I've never used before. So,
I just messed up. So
Vern, I have a similar one. It's just a 2-burner.
uh-huh.
It's not built into the counter. Like I just set it on top. I love induction.
that's it.
So we got about 700 grams, something like that. There's
Um,
500 in the one bag.
Yeah, so the pasta that I got,
650 grams you got over there.
yeah, the
About
pasta
that.
that I got is, well,
Which would be about 3/4 of
it's,
a
well,
bag.
I'm feeding 5 people and there's gonna be some left over.
Mhm.
And so I got this multicolored pasta, which is gonna be pretty, and then, but it wasn't quite enough for the number of people I have.
Now was the wine we were just supposed to be drinking, or is that part of the recipe?
You put the wine in with the fruit. And in fact, that's what I'm gonna do right now,
That's a
if I can find it.
have that get empty.
Do you know? So there you go. Just a little, it's not much, but it does make a difference. You don't have to cook it off. I think actually it's better if it doesn't cook off. Yeah, we have, so I don't know if you can see it. This is our fruit dish. And it's got
Oh, yeah.
figs, pineapple, mango, and papaya. And it's
Now,
cooked-
what fruit would you not put in it? You said fruit that
Well, I was
falls
gonna
apart.
I was gonna put nectarines in it, and nectarines would be okay. You don't actually have to avoid sour with this because it's gonna be counterbalanced by other flavors.
And also, we're dealing with the size of the pot.
Well,
Wouldn't that
but
be a
that's
factor?
about right. Yeah. So
They hard to put much more in there.
check my asparagus, which is going well. So I think that we are to the point, Art, that we just let things cook for a bit. And when the pasta is done,
Did you set a timer for your pasta?
no, I check it to see when it's al dente. Because you can tell by the way it feels on the on the spoon or the fork when it's al dente. So I mean, we're basically there. Do you see that blue bowl down there?
Yes.
That's where everything's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
A big blue.
And we are maybe 5 minutes from that.
Oh, that's an interesting way to cool it down.
Yeah, but we don't want to cool it down much because the pasta we chose is actually pretty doughy. We
So
want
let's
it.
see. Do you serve it hot or cold?
Have to turn it down.
What's that now?
Do you serve it hot or cold?
Oh no, you serve it hot.
Okay. I still have tomatoes and basil.
Yeah, the tomatoes and basil. So I have the basil right here. You see this? We're
Oh
about to
my
harvest.
goodness, look how much basil.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
so.
I went to buy some from the store. And it was like ridiculously expensive. Luckily, my mom had her big plant.
Mhm. Look at that.
So the
We're not
tomatoes
gonna
do we just
all this. No, not all of it.
So
the tomatoes
all
just
that-
chop
all that
up
happens
fine
here,
and the basil.
this is all. So I'm about to pull the basil. So you always harvest basil from the bottom, right? Because you don't want to discourage it from growing more at the top. You discourage it at the bottom. And so this is my basil plant that sits out on my balcony. And it supplies us with basil all season. Yes, please stir that. Thank you. And so I am pulling all of these unnecessary bottom leaves off, and we're going to eat them very soon. And they're yummy, but they don't know it because they're bottom leaves. It's the same thing with this sort of the difference between socialism and capitalism. All of the yummy work is done down at the bottom. But it doesn't know it, and that's why the capitalists take advantage of it. It's because they know that the yummy stuff is at the bottom, but at the bottom, the yummy stuff doesn't know it's yummy. And so,
Philosopher.
well, that's what I get paid for after all.
Let's
So
see, Randy,
what?
I'm gonna read your notes. Basically it says, put all this ingredients together and toss with the chopped basil and the fresh tomato. Variations, add a diced, good-sized tomatillo or substitute cilantro for the basil to get a Mexican style there.
You can't get a tomatillo in Poland. That's impossible. If you could start a business of bringing tomatillos to Poland, you could get rich. And here are my tomatoes. And so we're gonna chop these up and we're gonna put them on the results here. We're close. We're very close.
And then let's see what else you wrote. This can be done with apples, peaches, and nectarines too.
Yes.
Add craisins or raisins. And
Yeah,
if
you
you serve
can't
this
do
for
that.
breakfast, substitute cinnamon for the basil. Just a sprinkle of cinnamon.
That is all of that is entirely true. But this is not breakfast for us. This is late night.
Yeah, for us, it's like 1 o'clock, and for you, it's what, like 9
9
p.m.?
o'clock here. And so we are having dinner, not breakfast. I am getting things
Now,
out.
what type of drink do you serve this with? I know you.
White wine. It's obvious, isn't
What's left of the wine?
it? There's plenty of wine left. If you ever catch me without enough wine, you would have basis for a lawsuit. So we're using these little, Vern is gonna cut these in half.
Not quarters, not eighths.
No, just halves.
Oh, like
Okay.
little cherry tomatoes?
You want them lengthwise or
Still a
lengthwise?
fruit salad. I still think it's a fruit salad.
It is not a fruit salad. Have you tasted your blueberry-blackberry thing?
Yeah, you're right. The blueberry doesn't taste like fruit. I mean, it's
No, it
very
doesn't.
savory.
Imagine that. Almost as if I had told you in advance.
Since I don't have instructions.
But I mean, if you're adding tomatoes to it, it's yeah. Anyway, tomatoes
I'm
are
pulling
fruit.
some of the tomatoes half-wise and some lengthwise. It's more efficient to cut them half-wise because you can do 2 at a time.
All right, let me
And
take
I'm
that.
not
Good
looking
enough.
at camera while I do this because I've never cut a finger in all my years of baking and cooking. And I attribute it to looking at what I'm doing and not at something else.
There you go. Oh yeah, Vern, we should have you on here just to bake.
Oh
All
my
your
gosh,
years of
yes.
baking.
Oh, Tell me
You know,
about it.
that's a possibility. It might be possible there, right?
So
Only bake anymore, only bake when Lenore and I have something to go to, and I bake enough for us, for however long it's gonna be before we're going to whatever potluck or wherever somebody's invited. Best way to get me to bake is to invite me to a beautiful dinner someplace. And then I'll bake. Yep, otherwise, I've been there and done that. People say, "You'll open a bakery." I've been there, done that. No more. I loved it, but no more. Invite me over for dinner instead.
that's a good philosophy.
Sometimes when you get really good at something, you get tired of doing it.
That's true enough. Tell me about it. R, how's business? Speaking of the
I've
things.
hired enough people to run it for me.
Wonderful people who do wonderful things in the world.
One of these days, I'm gonna have to bring our GMC motor home to you and have you take a look at what I created in the way of the solar system on it that basically lets us boondock as long as we want to, wherever we go.
So guys,
But I learned about the principles basically first from you.
we are basically ready here. My pasta is done. And so,
I always fork some out and run it under the cold water real quick and pop it in my mouth.
yeah.
That's ready or it's not.
Well, I'm pretty sure it is. And so that means that in a sense, so I'm about to drain this stuff.
Now, my mom would say, never waste that hot water. Take that hot water and then make soup with it.
Yeah. I try to always save mine.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to save this, but I do appreciate the advice.
You got a
All right.
pre-plan for it. Have a place to
So-
store it.
My corner is here.
All right, we're wrapping up now. I can have some wine.
We are wrapping up and I'm about to, I mean, there's about to be a final product here.
See where we
Somehow
at.
you got ahead of me
Those mitts
in
there.
the boiling of the water.
Beautiful mess.
My water's just starting to low.
Yeah.
I'm a little behind.
So I'm just about
Being
to.
the creative person you are, what have you used for the pineapple or papaya skin?
Oh, I'm afraid you caught me. I have never explored that, but Sarah Hires would be mad at me because when I have had her and Lee over for dinner, she has always pointed out the things that I never remember in terms of reuse and excellent sort
Yeah,
of.
look,
I mean,
you like wine? Try to put that papaya skin in some water. Look it up, and you can make like a quick Caribbean, like papaya. It's an alcoholic drink, but it's anyway, you just put the pineapple skin in some water and it'll start.
All right, so what's about to happen here is I'm about to put the fruit in this. And then I am going to put, having my druthers, I would let this cook another 15 minutes. But I'm doing it because we are here and this is now, and it's not some other time, and it's not some other person.
And you taste it.
It's wonderful.
So
I did taste it and it's exactly what it should be.
I think I'm gonna be greedy and save just a little bit of this blackberry sauce for something else. I don't know.
That's wrong.
Tastes
we're
good.
purposing it, huh?
It's wrong. God will come for you. And he will say on Judgment Day, you repurposed the blackberry sauce. Ha! I don't assume that God is a he, by the way. She will say, and then you're really in trouble. You have repurposed the blackberry sauce. Now, I have my entree. And I'm about to put my tomatoes and my basil on it. Here goes the basil. Here go the tomatoes. And we are gonna eat. You can do whatever you want.
Who's the better photographer? Take a
What was
picture
that?
of the final.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. Probably once you put all that blackberries on there, it'll just look like black pasta.
It's not
That's
black.
the amazing thing. The amazing thing about this black stuff
Uh-huh.
is I was expecting it to be like a jam.
It's not like a
It's
jam.
definitely. No, it's definitely
It's
a
like
savory
it's
sauce.
like, it's like a sauce. So, there you go. Thank you. So this is what the result looks like. And we're about to
There you
eat
go.
it. And it is an entree. It is not salad. Would you like to have a spoonful of this, Vern? Tell me what the result is.
All right. Hey,
If you
Vern,
have
just
ever
because
tasted
Randy's
anything
feeding you
like that in
dinner
your
does
life-
not mean you can't be honest
Do
about what
what?
it tastes like.
I
Just
gotta
because
get,
Randy's feeding you dinner doesn't mean you shouldn't be honest about what it tastes like.
Be
Let's be
honest,
honest.
be honest.
Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
be honest.
I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably
Behind
it's
the
pretty
view
hot
here,
right now.
let's see.
Yeah.
I can
It's
see
dinner
my
time,
hand.
guys.
Let me step around here. There. Okay. Mm. Well, I like pineapple. So that was great. Mm.
What do you think?
Hot. Wine.
Not sure what that means, but
Mm.
R, do you have yours done?
Delicious.
No, my pasta is still cooking.
Oh,
No, delicious.
I
I don't
mean,
remember ever having this before, Andy.
no, you've had the sauce, but not the full concoction.
Yeah. You probably caught me a lot of times at Kerrville. I stay pretty busy, so I pass by and I keep testing whatever Randy. is cooking.
That's basically what
Yeah.
it's supposed to taste like.
Wonderful.
Yeah. That's basically what it's supposed to taste like.
Definitely different than most people.
It's,
would
yes,
have
not,
with
it's not
pasta,
something you have every day.
But
No.
I think I can make it.
I mean,
good.
if it was anything like his applesauce, you were expecting sweet and you didn't get it.
Yeah.
No, it's not exactly sweet and it has a little kick to it, doesn't it? Yeah, and so that is as it should be. We're having it with asparagus, and so, anyway, we have ours, Art. You've got to make yours.
Yeah.
I've got to put this
And
in
my
here on the table. I'll stay with you for a while.
My pasta is almost
I
done.
wanted
I'm cooking, you know, I am sensitive to gluten, so I got some gluten-free lentil pasta.
That makes
So
sense.
it's actually already black or already brown pasta, so it's not gonna look really weird in color. So, but all right. I mean, if you don't have any final stuff,
Well,
I'm willing to wrap
I
up.
like my asparagus, so.
I'm willing to wrap up because you have a bunch of your friends on here, and I think you want to chat with them while it's not being recorded.
Well, yeah, you can wrap up and Vern can stay
Thank you
on.
for coming from Poland, and don't let the secret out of how two Texans got in Poland. So. It's like,
As one of my early inspirations, Miss child.
Julia.
my pot is right below my camera. Look at this. It's steamed up my camera.
Anyway,
I'll
bon
see you guys.
appetit. I'm gonna go eat this stuff.